Hey, and welcome back to All Over the Map. Thanks for tuning in. On this episode, we are going for a world record, the practice round number 3 for United States No Blurry, game created by Simi. And the world record is on geotips.net. The one that we're going for this game is the no move, no pan, no zoom solo high score. And a week on from our previous video, we have not seen any changes here on the leaderboard. Goal is to get over 24,103, or at least to get that. And we will play this as a challenge, which means that it will not be on the leaderboard if I get a 24,103 or above. So it's part of the game here. Within the next month or so, I will be doing this as a non-challenge, so it can go onto the leaderboard should I get that. It might take a while. It might take a long time. It might take a short time. Who knows? Might even do it here. Probably not so short, but if it is, it won't count anyway. The play along link will be in the description below, and we're just going to get into it. Hope you're doing well. We've got what looks like it snowed. There's some mountains here in the background, so I'm thinking Wyoming, Colorado, maybe in between. So let's go on 191. Let's just check there, see if that's it. Okay, so not a bad guess, not 187 miles from the correct location. So a very decent guess. Got the general region, 3,483 points, and we get off to the second round. I'm feeling, okay, we're back to this landscape of dark, and this is where in the United States I'm not familiar with this dark rocky surface here. Shrubbery, I'm feeling like this could be, don't see any mountains anywhere in the background, but rolling hills. Like this could be like New Mexico, because I think about in this part of the world, if maybe we're like near Gallup. I've been through this part of the world, and I'm just trying to think if this is a one that makes sense. Vander Vagen, and yeah, not too bad. Not too bad on that one. 99 miles, 4,128 points. At the end of this game, I'll come back and actually show you why I decided to go to this part of the world. Part of it has to do with Petrified Forest National Park. Part of it has to do with me having been through Winslow, Arizona. Happy Jack Flagstaff years ago. Got an interesting story about show low in this area. So stay tuned. 4,128 points. These rounds aren't ones that you think you would get too lucky. If I'm being honest. Okay, gate here. I'm feeling this could be a Texas round. Just see this gate. I think it looks like for cattle. So Oklahoma, Texas, maybe northern Amarillo. Let's just go. I'm just not going to waste too much time on this one. Maybe we're near Pampa or Miami, Texas. There is a Miami, Texas. LaFours, McLean, Shamrock, White Deer. Some interesting names. Northern Canadian. Okay, so let's just look at this again. We're looking on a north trajectory on what would be not a interstate. So maybe we're on 87. Would that be a double lane? Yeah. Think of this. This could be a good one. Masterson, Texas. Pioneer Natural Resources, USA. Oil country. Cactus. Let's just go here and see where we wind up. Okay, New Mexico, 275 miles. We were in the vicinity, but not close. 2,936 points in north of Carlsbad on 285. So I guess you could say the right region, hitting kind of the right regions on stuff that, and here we go again. This round could be simply the round of not many things to go off of in terms of signage or anything like this. However, this is on the East Coast. I'm not sure what this vehicle is over here. on this side here, what's going on there. This feels Pennsylvania-ish to me. Just the landscape, telephone pole. The trees. Yeah, I have a feeling this is like central or west Pennsylvania, western Pennsylvania. But not much going again. Just not much to go on. And maybe we're out here near, maybe on 522. No. Maybe we're like near Waterfall, Pennsylvania. West Virginia. Are we in? Are we what? Yeah, just inside of West Virginia, Kentucky border. But hey, right region. Just again, I'm just going off a lot of foliage and landscape in this round. 2,909 points, and we get off to the 5th and final round. Got Paul Prince on the road, which is always interesting. Again, this practice round will get you because I don't know who's that somebody's on the leaderboard that may or may not watch this. I just don't know if you could ever get. I mean, you've got to be extremely lucky to get a 24,000 round when it's just pure landscape and not even any license plates, area codes, things that I would look for that are very good clues to the United States. This one, again, it's very tough. I would say it's more northern, but I'm not sure. I don't know these types of trees. Not too familiar with it. My hunch is that we're a little further west than, let's say, the Midwest. Thinking this house is like throwing me off here. The fencing. Some respects, I feel like this could be Colorado, even though there's no mountains. It's got to be in this part of the world, if I'm being honest. I mean, it could be Denver. It could be, but it's just looking, yeah, so this is looking east. So if I'm in Denver, the mountains would be behind me. But I don't think, well, we could be there. There's a garage to this house. These are rancher type homes. It's very flat. So we could be Wichita. We could be Kansas City. Maybe I'd just go for Wichita. Just say we're out in Mays. And let's guess that. And we're in Montana. So there's that. Pretty flat and round up Montana. And we get 14,473 points. So a couple things on this one is the first round. Again, a lot of landscapes, not many clues, I would say, in this one. Is the general shrubbery or this type of... I saw this mountain with the snow in the background. And been to Colorado, been to Wyoming, and in between out for skiing, and then out west. And it kind of looked like that area to me. So I just guessed, I think, where did I guess? Yeah, I guessed this part. It looked a little flat. Maybe the mountains were in one direction. But to be quite honest, in the landscape with this, it's just going off a previous experience with being there or being in this part of the world a few times. The second round was a pretty good guess for me because at first I didn't have, well, I don't think we were pointed this way. I think we were this way, yeah. Didn't have a clue. First I was thinking Texas. Then I'm like, no, this is not Texas because of the soil here. So the soil near the Petrified Forest National Park looks like this. Gallup, New Mexico, if you drive through an Interstate 40, which is here through Gallup, there's a lot of these shrubs or shrubbery looking things. And then with the hills, I think there's some hills around there when you go on 40, but it just felt like this area. Now, the story about Show Low, or this area, or Pine Top Lakeside, there's a movie called, I think, Fire in the Sky, about a UFO encounter. Uh, when I was younger, there's a very about an alien encounter. The aliens took a guy that's based on a true story, based upon polygraph test, I believe, by the FBI or something. So check that out if you want some entertainment. Is Fire in the Sky. And forget the guy's name that's the main character, but probably what you would recognize. So I remember that just from watching that movie. I remember when I was a kid just trying to look up where that was, where that occurred, because I found that a bit fascinating. The third round, we went off to Seven Rivers Highway. To be honest, West Texas. There's some. There we go. There we are. Oil. In this part of New Mexico near Carlsbad Caverns. So first clue I looked at is this. Typically ranching or whatever has these gates to keep the cattle from coming out on the road. I think there's holes in them so they won't go through there, or like, holes in the grates or something. But when you're in Texas, just West Texas, this is what it looks like to me. And that's why I went with that, having been in that part of the world as well. I've actually been in this part of New Mexico, not this far south of New Mexico, but been here. So it kind of looks, this general area looks fairly similar. This part of the world here. So I'm pretty happy about that one. Fourth round, went with Pennsylvania. Just thought the deciduous trees, the forest, looked like the Appalachian Mountains to me, or the foothills thereof. And to be honest with you, this could be anywhere from New York all the way down to Tennessee. To be honest with you, that I'm going to click or close out some of these things. Could be anywhere. I mean, there's really nothing distinguishable here that I could see. Telephone poles all look pretty much the same in this part of the world. Maybe you could see some trees that might be different that you wouldn't see in Pennsylvania. They're pretty much going to be the same. So I don't know how you'd get much better. Comment down below if you know, like how you would figure out that this was actually the border of West Virginia and Kentucky, in Genoa, West Virginia. And the fifth and final round was just a disaster for me because it was a far ways away in Montana. But this is what I'm saying. This could be anywhere. I mean, it's flat. This house with some of these shutters, I mean, it looked a little more Colorado, Wyoming-ish rancher. But again, and maybe some of these trees might be local to the area of Montana, but I would have never guessed that this was Montana without any more clues. So round up Montana. So 14,473. Being in a landscape environment type of round, I'm pretty happy with that one. I'm not, it's not something I thought. I think if there was more clues and I got this, I would be very disappointed. But the fact that there's a lot of landscapes, that's the one thing about the United States. There are varied landscapes. So hopefully you learned something from this that you're not familiar with, based upon my experience in the United States, based upon some of the areas. Maybe you take something from it and maybe not. But hopefully you had fun with this one. This was a practice round. I'm going to be uploading a lot of these over the next couple of weeks. I know it's a lot of people like to see some of the GeoGuessr games that are popular, and I will continue to do that. But this is one where, I learn more about different things with the United States. A Diverse World's the other one I'm doing as well, learning more about the world. And maybe these are the ones in the games where you could learn something from this, or maybe you get something where like, hey, that looks like an interesting place I would want to visit. So fun game, good practice round. Being a landscape, hey, this is what's going to happen, right? So I'm guessing you're going to have to play, anybody that's played this and try to get on the leaderboard, you probably have to play this a lot of times, and part of it is going to be luck. That said, appreciate each and every one of you that have tuned in, that continue to subscribe. Want to keep growing this channel, want to get to 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, appreciate it. So with that said, thanks for tuning in. As always, until next time, cheers.